So the plan of action to channel your mental health, and this is what we've gone through for the last 3 months, practicing these different nuggets, components. Think of this plan as your mental bandwidth garden. And so that's where we came up with the word cultivate. And what would you like to plant and grow to help? So the first thing is cultivate trust, faith, and belief. The second is cultivate a resilient spirit. The next is cultivate play and rest. And we're going to go through all of these as we go on. Cultivate calm and stillness. And then lastly, cultivate meaningful work.
Absolutely. Yeah. All very relevant. And as I said, we're going to dive deeper and start to give some examples of what that's really all about and what we've done over these past few months. And again, I can't believe it's been 90 days already. So I agree with you on that. Before we start that, let's just do a quick roundtable and kind of introduce ourselves for those who this may be their first time joining us. So my name is Bryan. I am the founder of the Village of Voices and also the VOV Network. And I'm joined today by two wonderful co-hosts. So Bridgit, would you introduce yourself there?
Hello, I am Bridgit Kinney. I am the founder and director of Building Bridges Mentor and Outreach Program and also Beautiful Girls Mentor Program.
Welcome.
Hello,
Chauntae?
all. I am Chauntae Hollins. I am the founder of the Chauntology Speaks experience, which is something new that I've developed, but I am a certified master life coach, and I help people transform their lives from the inside out.
Excellent. Well, welcome again to both of you today. And so let's just dive in. And this is just going to kind of be a roundtable. I really just want to kind of have us discuss and share kind of what we went through, kind of go down the list category by category. And what I did for me is obviously there were some things on my plan, and I kind of bullet pointed at least one specific thing under each category that either I had some good success with or some challenges with, and I just want to kind of talk that through. So I'll start, and then we'll kind of run from there. So under the first category, we're talking about cultivating trust, faith, and belief. And my thing that I have been really focusing on for myself has been self belief, right? Just really having that self confidence, self belief. That no matter what the situation, what arises, et cetera, that I have the wherewithal and trust within myself that I can figure out a way, manage it, and get through it. And it's been a roller coaster. I mean, that's the best answer I can give to that, just from a mental standpoint. And there have been those peaks where I felt like, oh, I got this, everything's under control, and I'm managing it. And then there's been those valleys where it's been like, I don't even know what to do next, right? And it's almost a state of being paralyzed. So that's one of the things that I'll share from a mental bandwidth standpoint. And as we work our way through this, just to say that it's not always going to be sunshine. You have to work your way through that and find a balance for you in the different categories and the different things that you put down. But also understand that if it was easy, everybody would do it. And that's one way to definitely look at it. So under the category of trust, faith and belief, and when I said self-belief, that's really where I've struggled the most.
I would say in reference to cultivating trust, belief, and I would say in the last year, and more specifically in the last 3 months, my life has changed tremendously in terms of family and just a lot of areas. And so I've had to, like you, Bryan, trust in myself that I don't have to do everything. And I can let go of the control. And for those that know me, I have a large family, and I have children and grandchildren, and so I'm always hands-on. But I had to kind of step back, and that was very hard for me. And so, just like what I've said before about the serenity prayer, is the wisdom to know the difference between what I can control and what I cannot. And so that has been rough for me. But when I kind of got it, it was kind of feeling my groove, so to speak. It took so much weight off of me. Everybody still lived, and everybody still made, decisions, and I didn't have any input in anymore. And I kind of looked around and said, oh, okay, this is nice. I like it here. I should have done this before, but I had to dive deeper into what I was doing to put so much mental stress on myself and emotional stress on myself. So I had a problem. I had a challenge with trusting that I don't have to be involved or control any of this. But I worked through it month by one month, and I'm gonna say this year, and then like I said, the last 3 months, I've really worked it, and it really has changed my life.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
That's
Chauntae, what
good.
about you?
I had to focus on trust, faith, and belief in myself. I had a hard time picking just one that I needed to focus on because imposter syndrome is so real, especially
It is such a real thing. Yeah.
when you're starting out. And so I focused on all three areas, trusting that I can do this work and I can help other people through what I've already been through. And then the faith in who I am as a person and who I am as a creation of God. And then just believe that what I said about the others, I can do it all. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you. And so, it's been mostly good. I've had some moments where I would waver, kind of like Brian, you said it's a roller coaster.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to give myself more highs than lows. I think that's a sign of growth. But there were some moments I just thought, man, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And or I should be so far along, or um, it's not working out exactly the way I planned. And there were some other things I discovered that got in the way of that. I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. So I couldn't pick one. I had to work in all three areas. So I've made some progress, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
would say, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead, Brian.
No, I was going to say, Shantae and I, over the past few months, have actually, swapped some emails and just talking about how are you doing? I don't know, how are you
Yeah.
doing? And so, yeah, it is a process as you work your way through it.
Yeah.
And I
As
would
you,
say, Chauntae, what I've said to Brian before, because when I started, when I came to Houston and started to promote Beautiful Girls, I had already had a sight on how it was supposed to go. And
Mm-hmm.
environment, the demographic, I had it
Mm-hmm.
all planned out, right? And so it wasn't working like that for me. And I like you and Brian had got kind of discouraged until God kind of changed it, and I had to look at it differently and start thinking about what's my why? Like, what is my why? Like, am I doing this? Is it about my expectations? Or is it about service? Like, is it really, Bridget? Is this really something? Is something you want to do, or something you're purpose to do? And you have
Right.
to make a decision. And that's the same thing I was talking to him about. When God kind of turned it around, I was like, oh, okay, you're gonna do it this way, not the way you did it in Nacogdoches. You're gonna do it this way in Houston. Okay, I get it. Because if I had steadily tried to make it be the way I wanted it to be, the way I wanted it to be, and not what was needed and what was
Mm-hmm.
service needed, I would be so discouraged. And so I learned that, and I'm sure I learned it as a tool to help somebody else.
hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could not agree more with that, and it is interesting. And Bridget, you're right. Sharing that and having to just kind of get it reframed in your own mind is such a powerful thing. But it takes the courage and also some patience, right? Because
Right.
it's not an instant gratification kind of thing,
Right.
right? And then, so that's the other piece of it. You just kind of have
Right.
to work your way through it. Anything else on trust, faith, or belief before we move on to resilient spirit?
I want to just add briefly that in order to cultivate the trust and faith and belief in yourself, you have to stop looking at everybody else. That's kind of
Mm,
where I got caught up a bit, seeing how everybody else was doing things and seeing what I thought were their successes or what have you. And then having to realize that the plan God has for me is for me. And the plan that he has for them is for them. And they won't look the same. And, I was measuring myself against people who've been doing this for 20 plus years. I'm not supposed to look like them and do what they're doing and all of that. So I just wanted to add that I think it's really, really important to focus on yourself and what it is that you're supposed to do and not try to compare yourself to someone else.